My name is Ken Cohen, and I am the Clinical Director of Pediatric Oncology at Johns Hopkins. People often ask, why are the treatment options for children with these forms of cancer so limited? We have sort of exhausted the traditional strategies for how we're going to treat cancer in children with these types of diagnoses. We're not where we need to be in terms of successful treatment, and so we're really looking for new strategies to see if we can improve upon what is often a very poor outcome for many of these children. In the pediatric population, all the challenges are magnified 100-fold compared to the adult population. First off, we've got to get access to an agent. And that may be simple or it may be very complicated. In some cases, the industry is prepared to offer the agent up. In other cases, they're not. In other cases, they may want to do that, but they may want to wait a number of years before they've gained some additional experience in the adult community. Presuming we can get our hands on the agent, then we have to figure out how that study will be supported. And one of the first challenges is that it's unusual, in fact rare, that we can study an agent at a single institution. So if I have an idea about a drug that I'd like to move forward, I may have to pull together 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 other centers in order to get sufficient numbers of patients in a reasonable period of time to answer the question. That then requires development of a protocol, standard operating procedures for how we're going to communicate across institutions. We then have to contract with the pharmaceutical company for how drug will be supplied and what other aspects of the study they're going to be supporting. Each institution has to have their own sort of legal group go through that process. Protocols have to be submitted for regulatory approval. Every institution has their own institutional review board, which has to look at the study and determine if it has scientific as well as ethical merit before you can consider opening the study. And so there are these types of hurdles which constantly impinge on our ability to in a timely fashion, move an idea from conception to actual application. When a new drug is developed, it's generally tested in adults first. And the reason for that is that there are more adults typically to test the drug on, and the notion that in some way we should be protecting children from the risks of that new drug since they're not well understood at the time the drug is initially utilized. That tends to lead to a situation where adults have access to agents for often many years before children have access to that agent. I don't think big pharma or biotech has done an injustice to the pediatric community. I think it's just a reflection of the way drugs are developed and the cost of that development, which becomes restrictive for pharmaceutical companies in terms of where they're going to put their research dollars. If we don't come up with a better mousetrap, we are going to suffer with a system that just isn't responsive enough. I think Solving Kids Cancer and the TDI offer an opportunity to develop a much more facile system for drug development, and so that when a new agent comes along that shows promise in children with these conditions, that we can get that agent into the child within months rather than within years. And if we can accomplish that through this mechanism, we will have really changed the way that drug development is thought about in this population of patients.